Rookies, what's up? Welcome to this edition of the Bourbon Rookie, where today I'm going to present to you, for your viewing pleasure, the Maker's Mark Cask Strength, also for my tasting pleasure. And this guy comes in at 110 proof. It could range in proof anywhere from 108 to 114 proof, according to their website. Their mash bill is undisclosed. However, I will read to you from online, from Breaking Bourbon. Breaking Bourbon speculates, I don't know how they got this information, that the mash bill is 70% corn, 16% wheat, 14% malted barley. Maker's Mark may basically tell you that the mash bill comprises of at least 51% corn. So they're a little secretive when it comes to their mash bill, if you care about that. I don't, if you're a real enthusiast, I guess you do. If you want to compare like slight nuances to other whiskeys, you're going to look at that in terms of, do I like more barley? Do I like more wheat? Do I like more corn? How does this stack up to this? So I get it. But I just want to know, for the money that I'm paying, is it good? Right? So, and that's what we're getting at here. My channel is just mainly all about value shopping. And, because let's face it, things aren't getting any cheaper, right? So, what I would have loved to have got my hands on was the cellar aged from Makers, but that is very limited in the New York market. As a matter of fact, from what I've heard, and maybe some of you guys can correct me out there for the sake of this video, a lot of these whiskey, a lot of these spirits companies, they save, or they will, how do you say it? Distribute certain states that they know they're going to be able to move product better, right? So New York is not necessarily the most whiskey friendly. Not to say that there aren't people that drink bourbons and whiskeys. There are. But in terms of, this market, Kentucky, Maker's Mark in Kentucky, they may not sell that many of these cellar age, and where you get into all these higher priced allocated bottles, like Weller or whatever, So, and now, I'm just speculating and talking mainly to the guy like me out there who doesn't really know squat about a lot of this stuff and just wants to, try something for about $50 or under that's really good. So, and I've been able to do that with a few of my friends just from watching other videos. I watch a lot of other videos and I get inspiration from them. So, without any further ado, you gotta love Maker's Mark. The one thing about the cask strength that I found interesting from their website, and yeah, I'm gonna read from it, why not? This is screen filtered to remove wood, pieces, and char. So I don't know. I guess it's there's certain things to it. It's uncut at its natural proof level. Okay, so I guess that means they don't water it down, or they don't add water to proof it down. Excuse me. And that it's probably it probably goes from a couple of different barrels. It's probably aged in more than one barrel. And the one thing I always thought was cool about Makers was they have a patent on this wax dripping that they throw over here. Now, you see it on the tabletop is the Makers 101, which I did a review on. And I liked it. But I don't know. I'm probably going to pour a little bit of that and see how this cask strength measures up to the 101. I would have liked to have had the 46, because the 46, the French Dutch is my favorite. It's just fantastic. It's right in my wheelhouse in terms of the type of whiskey that I like to drink. So without any further ado, now I probably should have let this air out, because the reason why this is here is because I've dabbled and I've gotten into the I've had a few glasses. This is my least favorite, the Cask Strength of the Sag Spirit line of whiskey. And I found that it's very oaky, a little too oaky for me, and I want to see if this Maker's is going to be about the same. The nose on this is actually fabulous. It's just the same typical caramel, a little bit of a cherry, almost a cherry wine. Not cherry wine, but cherry and or a wine, a red wine. Which, when they tell you something smells a little bit like old books, wet basement, that kind of crap, that's what I'm getting out of that, you know. So this was aged speculatively for approximately 6 years. I don't think it says it here on the website. One of my worst habits is that I don't aerate. And if you're going to do a tasting right after opening, see, like what I was getting at with this guy was it's kind of in and out of the wheelhouse. You got to actually, if you're going to sip this guy, you got to actually leave it out in the glass, because it opens up. I had a glass of it the other night, and had about the same amount that you're seeing here. And you can see this guy has a pretty decent copper color. You know, and you know, in terms of viscosity, usually you want to see the oils on the glass, I guess, just to see how those, if you got a thick running oil down the side of the glass, then chances are you're probably going to have a really good finish, right? That's what you could assume. I don't know if you could see that. So you can see some oils up there, and you see how that guy's just kind of slowly dripping down. That's a pretty good sign, right? But anyway, this guy needed some time to open up before the flavors actually got better and smoothed out a little bit and became a little bit more pleasant for me to drink. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying Cask Strength. Now, I don't have a lot of Cask Strength whiskeys. If I remember correctly, this Sag cost me about $70, probably about $68, $70, something like that. So, getting a little bit more, as I swirl this around and I aerate it, I'm getting a little bit more of a creme brulee. Great nose. Very good nose. Not mine, this. Cheers. Wow, winner, chicken dinner. What a different experience from this guy. This is just fabulous. Sweet. Yeah. This has a nice long finish. There's a nice spice because of the oak. Sorry about the watch. Again. It's a fantastic creme brulee, the classic butterscotch creme brulee, caramel, vanilla, the vanilla notes. Just amped up a little bit with the right measure of oak. I like the way it goes up into the sinuses. Really hits you on the middle part of the tongue. And then slow, it's got a slow finish, long finish. It's really, really good. This, what a surprise. Now I think I paid Probably close to 50 for this. And this is well worth it. Wow, it's really coating the tongue and the palate very well. Can't get over how good this is. So, without any further ado, that's a highly rec. I mean, my goodness. You see this guy. And again, that's at 110 proof. Let's see how we measure up. I don't know why I was doing this. Let's see how we measure up here to the 101. On the 101, this guy I was looking to see if I can give you anything in particular on this, but the 101, it's not cask strength, but this has a little bit more of a bitter nose. It leans more to the, it's not as sweet, not as vibrant. This has a lot more of the old books, damp, wet basement, kind of an old barrel, old wood. You get where I'm going with this? Old. Definitely got a, you swirl it around the glass, and that's what these glasses are made for swirling and aeration. It does bring out a little bit more of the sweetness. So, now listen, I don't know if you're going to get all this if you're somebody who likes to have bourbon with ice. I don't. I like to get as much of the flavor as I possibly can. And I like to sip on a good glass of this for, as long as I possibly can and really get some enjoyment out of it. Because that's really the idea of it for me, is it's about the luxury of the sip. If that makes any sense, without anybody out there making fun of me and calling me half a fag. And I'm sorry if you're offended by that. It's just trying to be funny. Wow. Fabulous. Totally different experience, but wow, these are just too. This one, believe it or not, the 101 is actually cheaper. I think for sure the 101 is about $38 that I paid in my local market here in New York. And again, a little bit lighter in color, I think. Pretty good viscosity there. Pretty good. Now this is just as sweet. It's just as sweet. It's just a little bit. This is obviously just more vibrant because of the oak presence. A little bit more viscosity here. Better mouth coating. This one really goes up into the sinuses a lot better. Both are quite enjoyable, but I gotta tell you, this is just way sweeter. Way sweeter, much bolder, more viscous. But that's on you. This is probably more in my wheelhouse. I actually really do like this a lot more. I have to say, this is probably my new favorite of the line so far between the regular makers, the 46, the 101, and now this. Now the only difference is obviously price range. The 46 I get for about 34. This guy's 38, and this guy's probably closer to 50. So all are fabulous in their own right. All are fantastic. It's just, you could easily make the 46 your everyday, and for an extra 10 or 15 more, make this your special occasion sipper. But this one, I gotta be honest, this one is just so much better. And you probably couldn't blind these because you'd be able to pick them apart. The flavors are that much more distinguishable. This being the only other cask strength I have in my collection. I already know the answer to this, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to give this guy a shot. I already did a review on this. I love Sagamore Spirits. Love Sagamore Spirits. My favorite has to be the Double Oaked. Fantastic. Now, this cask strength comes in at a higher proof than this cask strength. This is 112 proof, 112.2. So slightly higher. I don't know. Has it been aged 6 years? 40, it says it's a combination of different whiskeys that are aged anywhere from 4 to 7 years, right? So it's not a straight. It's definitely a sourced. But just reading the back of this, you're getting a totally different experience. This smells a lot more like barley. I got a little bit more barley in here. This is sour. Barley note in here that's a little bit reminiscent. Somewhat reminiscent of a Scotch. Now, what I hate to admit that the reason why I'm not a Scotch drinker, there's something to the barley, or there's something peaty to it that actually kind of turns my stomach a little bit. Sorry to all you Scotch guys. So at any rate, this one's chocolatey. It's got a little bit more of a cocoa note to it. The nose even has the cocoa. Getting a little bit of that same kind of old profile with there's a little bit of an old book, damp basement thing. A little bit of like a wine. You ever have chocolate wine? There's chocolate wines out there that are actually, some of them aren't bad. And that's a note that I'm getting here. This is it's a lot bolder than these two. It's sweet. It's as sweet as this cask strength, but it just goes a little bit more on the chocolate cocoa, dark chocolate note. A little more of a molasses. A little less fruity than this guy in terms of the grape, the red, the wine notes. And actually, it's really good. However, because of that molasses note, and because of that dark chocolate profile, there's a little bit of more of a bitterness to this that I don't like. A little bit more of a peatiness to this that I don't. I like it. I love it actually. It's very good. It's still my least favorite of the Sag line. But cask strength to cask strength, this one smokes this for me, because I can drink this 2 or 3 glasses and I won't get sick of it. There's something in here that's kind of hitting me right here that I know that after 1 glass I'd have to switch over to something else. So for me, this would be an occasional sipper when I want to try something different, but I know I'm only going to get the 1 glass out of it. I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to like it, but there's just something to it that, for me, my stomach knows, or there's something that signals me to say, all right, switch to something else, because this one, you've had your fill. Whereas this one, again, not to beat a dead horse, I already know I can drink this all day long, you know. Poor man's version of this would be the 46, just because the 46 is French oak barrels, which is a different barrel. This is really good as well, but if you want a good everyday sipper, go for the 46 because it's very reminiscent of this. This one is fabulous if you're somebody who doesn't mind spending close to $50 a bottle. You want a nice special occasion thing for your cabinet, or you want to go to this every once in a while. Fabulous. Highly rec. Beating myself to a dead horse. I tend to talk a little too long. This video has gone on for 20 minutes. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, all very fabulous, but winner, winner, chicken dinner all day long. Maker's Mark Cask Strength. And with that, thank you for watching me drink. Hopefully this inspired you to go out and drink yourself. But enjoy it and drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time on the Bourbon Rookie. Take care, guys.